Island, y'all. Cat Island, land of the records, right, y'all. When Bahama, our second city. Turks and Caicos, we can't forget you. Noni Lutra, Ryland, Sweden. Oh, yeah. Tell me, y'all. You got to let them know.
Welcome back to the 2025 Rolleville Regatta Homecoming Festival. It is the 81st version of the Rolleville Regatta. It's Sunday, a unique day of sailing for us here in Rolleville because this is the first time we've actually ever done it, considering we've always done a 2 on one day, an empty day, and then 2 on the other day. I'm Dwight Hart, joined by Captain Stafford Patterson. Captain Plug, welcome to Sunday Sailing in Rolleville.
Thanks, Dwight. It's great to be here. Ready for some good action this afternoon here, even though it is a Sunday and everything. We're making up the race yesterday. The first points race in the afternoon was halted or abandoned, I guess is the correct word, due to weather. So the race committee decided to reschedule it this afternoon with the tide. And we've got our 17 boats out here on the line, and I think we're basically ready to go.
Yep. Well, we started off with 18 boats on Saturday at the ocean race. I've tried coming in. I think I'm hearing that they may have a broken mast, so that has knocked them out of the regatta for the rest of the serious races. So a casualty in that regard. But other than that, we are good to go with the 17 that remained. Some of the top sloops in all of C-class sailing represented here in Rolleville. We have boats from Abaco, Crazy Partner It Ain't Right, Captain Plug, your crew also.
Yep,
The
from
number
Abaco.
one currently sailing boat in C-class, Sassy Sue, formidable, always one to reckon with, sailing out of Long Island, along with also the Witty K. Coaches doing an excellent job sailing that boat yesterday to a first place finish in the ocean race. Unfortunate, we had the squall that came through during that first points race yesterday, and she went under, but those guys have got her up, and she's back in place, and we're going to see her sail again. Also, Shroud coming out of Nassau, a boat that 3-4 years they've been working on how to get in trim, but seems to be right now. I mean, she's sailing extremely well.
They're doing extremely well, I agree, and I was able to confirm last night it was built by Don Knowles in Mangerbush, Long Island. I spoke to Jason Robertson, the owner there. Yep, so she's a Long Island boat based out of Nassau now, and getting in stride with second place in the ocean race yesterday, and then they were in second place when the race was abandoned. Yesterday afternoon. So we're going to be looking for them to get off the starting line quick.
All
and
right.
speak of the devil, they're rocking it back and forth out there right now. I'm not sure what.
That's the crew from the Termite. I don't know.
Oh, that's Termite. Okay.
Yeah. Whether they just having fun or did they all fall overboard? Trying to get back on. I see Dallas in the water trying to get the pry pushed back over.
Just a quick cool off. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Shroud's further out towards the end of the line, the start line, folks. Just how we did yesterday afternoon when we started that points race. It's right here off the beach, extending out on a slight angle. Trade winds are out of the southeast, 8 to 10 this afternoon.
Should be some good sailing.
It should be some good sailing, and I'll be looking for mostly big sails today. There's no squalls on the horizon currently, so yeah, with
nothing to be worried about as they get sailing.
With light air, we'll be looking for the big sails.
All right, we see the crew from the Termite. They're just
They're still having fun.
Boys having fun doing backflips.
We ought to be pretty close to starting. The race committee's right here off the beach. And the smack talkers are right behind us, getting ready for the start as well.
Yeah, so we see the race committee trying to get, I guess, one final run around the line, check up, sure that everybody is in place, and we should see the start in a couple of minutes. Shouldn't be too long to get this C-Class. We have a traditional beach party on Sunday here in Rolleville, and one of the reasons why we've not been sailing, so these guys are all anxious, I believe, to get this race over and done with, and to go and enjoy some of the beach party activities.
Quite the event, just a little down the road here from the regatta site. And we went there last year, had a blast. So if you're new, this is the first time you're watching. We're sailing C-Class boats here. These are Bahamian-built wooden sloops meant to represent the working vessels of yesteryear. C-Class, 17 feet long, got a crew of 3 to 5, depending on the wind. One big mainsail, very tall mast, and a large boom. No forward sail, no jib on the C-Class. And pretty exciting. These boats are very overpowered. I like to say that if you took something like a Volkswagen Bug and put a 500 horsepower engine in it, that's what driving a C-Class is like. They're very overpowered, very twitchy. Too much sail, or a little carelessness, or what have you, or a big puff of wind, you can turn it into a submarine real quick, which the boys on the Whitty K found out yesterday afternoon, unfortunately.
Yes, they did. Well, again, as we mentioned, we have 17 boats that are going to be starting today, because we had one casualty from yesterday. And so just for a quick rundown on the names, Cap, we have Whitty K sailing number 44, Shroud 88, Sassy Sue number 10, Miss Roe number 15, King of Knights 107, Queen 71, Confusion sailing with an 040 number. It Ain't Right 72, Sprayhound 42, Bullrich 171 or 117, I think sometimes we see the number. Fugitive number 28, Warrior 06, Termite 43, New Eyes 45, Golden Girl number 4, and Ma Laura sailing with number 95. And we should get started again. We would have talked about this yesterday. The 18 C-Class boats that started the line in Barataria for the ocean race, the largest number of C-Class boats ever to register and start a race for the Rolleville Regatta. So we're extremely, extremely proud. Outside C-Class boats in addition to the 12 that normally sail with us here in Rolleville.
So the discussion we had a couple of nights ago was that we've always referred to Rolleville and a couple others farmers as mini regattas, but with 19 boats plus the yesterday afternoons had to be abandoned because of bad weather, high winds, rain, unsafe conditions.
All right, well, I believe we are getting a little bit closer now to the actual start. I don't see any of the anchormen hoisted as yet, so maybe not as close.
There's the committee boat going by, probably just giving final instructions on the race course. I imagine it'll be how we sailed yesterday up to the quay.
Yep.
Pretty good upwind leg, and then back downwind to just in front of the regatta site here. And we'll be looking for 2 laps. It's not going to be a sprint race, so 2 good upwind legs for skippers to exercise their various strategies. You see boats making sure the sails are in position. You want to have the boom over on the port side of the boat. Everybody starts on starboard tack. The boats are set up for that. The number 1 boat, which will be the one in to my right here, closest to the beach, Whitty K, they would have the option to go off on port tack if they wished, but they're so close to shore, they'll have to sail off a bit before they could do that.
Yeah. Correct.
And we saw Bull Rich yesterday in that race make her upwind close in along the Exuma shore, perhaps getting a lift or some wind coming off the mainland. And she was definitely in contention when they got to the windward marker.
Yep, for sure. I believe she was in 4th place, close 4th at the time.
Yep.
Right on the heels of the Whitty K, I believe, right before the Whitty K sank.
Correct. And Carson's testing out the drone, so we'll have the drone ready once we get going. Waiting for the 1-minute warning from the race committee. Beautiful afternoon for sailing here in Rolleville Harbor.
Oh yeah, and we have quite a few sailing fans who come out. Rollevillians, very supportive of sailing, and particularly we have 3 boats that have been registered from the settlement of Rolleville: New Eyes, Fugitive, Sprayhound.
Well, that's great. We got fans out here cheering on the local boys and girls. Okay.
All right, I believe I see the gunman getting ready to fire off.
And I'm seeing Bahamian in position on the sea boats.
Not sure they've given him a 1-minute gun, or whether they will give a 1-minute gun and then the start gun. We shall see. We had some back and forth Cap with some of the sailors after yesterday's cancellation. 1 or 2 of the boats that were up in the runnings, so to speak, weren't too excited about coming back for today's race. Considering when the race was stopped and why it was stopped, it was just the best thing and the fairest thing to do to resail it.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. The race committee, you know, they sometimes have to make a tough call. I think they made the right call in this case. You know, top boats, well, that's just too bad. That's just how it goes. We want to be fair to everybody.
Yeah.
You can't please everybody all the time, but
No, of course not. Yeah.
no, it was unsafe, and the race had to be abandoned.
Yes.
So, all right, I think I just heard a pop, so I'd say that was a 1-minute warning.
All right, 3:08, 1-minute gun.
Here we go, folks. Here in the Bahamas, we don't have a running start. We start with our boats behind the start line with the sails down on anchor. We give a 1-minute warning, and then once that 1 minute is up, we fire the starting gun. It's hoist and go. Heave ho, hoist your sails and your anchors, and let's go racing, boys.
All right, and I believe we should have our drone up for the start.
I can see a lead anchor guy on each boat leaning into it, ready for that signal. Anchor pulls is a critical part of the start, and the start is a critical part of the race. You can win or lose right off the start line.
Absolutely.
Should be coming up in about 10, 15 seconds here.
Considering that we have this many boats on the line, even though it's stretched out quite a bit, the opportunity to get tangled is still there.
Oh, yes, there sure is.
There's the
okay,
gun.
there we go. Heave ho, boys.
And they're off.
Hoist those sails and anchors, and let's go racing.
All right, from our vantage point, Sassy Sue already getting out there. The good pull. Witty K getting out there. Fugitive looks like she's having some issues.
Uh-oh, yeah.
Mast on the wrong, boom on the wrong side of the boat.
Oh, boy, yeah. Woody K is clear of them, it looks like.
Got the sail up. Sassy Sue seems to be having some issue.
Out towards the other end of the line. We've got a couple boats, sails flapping.
So far, everybody's still clear. No contact. No.
King and Knight's getting this sail up.
Yep, and wow.
Easy to identify.
Yeah, very easy. We got the name plastered all over the sail.
Okay, out towards the far end of the line there. There's about half a dozen boats close together, but it looks like everybody's clear.
Everybody up except Fugitive, still struggling to get a sail up, and she's definitely got to go on port.
Yeah, they were not set up properly. Unless that's what they were trying to do, and if that was, they messed it up. Okay, all boats clear of the start line.
And one boat, sail still going back down. Looks like New Eyes having issues.
Yep, they must have gone into irons. Looks like the other boats will be able to clear them.
Yeah, it looks like it's they may have equipment failure there.
All big sails today, Dwight.
Witty K going back on port almost immediately.
Yep, they were in dirty air. They had to get out of there.
King and Knight's going back on port as well.
I tell you what, that may be the way to go because that's where the clear air is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we saw Bull Rich hug the shore yesterday and do very well.
And I believe Bull Rich is the yellow boat going across the line now as well. In your screens right now, King and Knights with the big marker. New Eyes stuck in the middle of the harbor. And They're looking like they're not going anywhere. So I believe
Nope.
they have issues that
Sa-
has probably
sails.
knocked them out of the race.
Sails flat on the deck. Yeah.
I see some hands being thrown up in exasperation. Jeffrey McKenzie standing there. All right, action on the screens. Number 32, I believe that's Malora.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Tack over quick and get heading towards the key. These other boats that are on starboard tack, they're sailing away from the marker. The marker's over here to my right.
Yep.
And they're sailing away from it. These boats that are on port tack are sailing towards the marker.
Yep, that's for sure.
There can definitely be advantage of going to windward and then tacking over, but they're going away, man. They need to tack back. Get the drone going here soon.
Well, C-Class sailing started here in Rolleville, and we're going to bring you all the action. Number 72, you can see going across. It ain't right. She is
Sails.
the defending 2024 champion here in Rolleville, coming in for the first time last year. And
Yep, Joey Gale was on the tiller last year. This year he's on It Ain't Right. Sorry, is that It Ain't Right? That is It Ain't Right. Okay, so Joey is on. Yes, he is on It Ain't Right, and Andrew is on Crazy Partner. I get our boats mixed up sometimes. So defending champion and defending skipper. A lot of boats tacking back now.
yeah,
I think they realized they were going the wrong way.
Yeah, just one boat, I believe, still. Well, two boats on the starboard tack. Look at that beautiful shot.
I'm telling you.
Overhead drone view of the fleet making their way up.
Just like yesterday's upwind, we got a fair amount of spread between the windward and the leeward boats. Every skipper's got his own strategy in mind. Winds are pretty steady right now. No clouds on the horizon. That's what can change the wind real quick, but no clouds. So I think it's going to be skill and every little lift you can find. Yep, everybody's got the big sail up today, no doubt about it.
Yep.
It's the only way to go.
Well, I can see all the way out in the distance, Captain Plug. Not sure whether your eyes are good enough to pick it up, but there's a powerboat moving out there, and just to the right is a little red dot. So that is where the upwind mark is, split in the middle of those two sailboats that you can see right now.
Okay, got it. Yep. All right, right out there in the in between the two keys.
Between the two keys.
Great. That's a great course. Looks to me fair as far as being straight upwind.
And look on your screens right now, Whitty K starting to really flex. I mean, she is way ahead of everybody else. Still,
Well, we know that
probably have to do a tack to get back to the mark.
they will definitely have to do that, but depending on where they tack, that should bring them in on starboard, which is good. But they've obviously got the boat dialed in.
Yep.
Despite sinking yesterday, right now performance is looking pretty good.
And you got your two Abaco sister ships sailing neck and neck, 72 and 18, one behind the next.
And just behind them,
Miss Roy, number 15.
there we go. Miss Rowe was she was up there in the ocean race yesterday.
Yes, played around with third place for a bit. Finally gave up third to Sassy Sue.
Right. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Clear blue waters of Rolleville, one of the more scenic harbors for sailing in all of the Bahamas.
Yeah, you've got it trimmed in pretty good.
Yeah, she's looking good. I'm not sure yet which boat that is. No number on the sail. Maybe one of the either Golden Girl or Confusion, I believe. Oh, no, this is Fugitive.
Fugitive,
sailing,
yes.
Sailing, she took a port tack almost immediately and went along closer to the shoreline.
I do see some sandy bottom up there ahead of them.
Yep, she's...
So they're going to need to navigate that.
Now, those guys are from that part of town in Rolleville, so they should know that harbor, all the veins, pretty well. But you can see to the left, that's Whitty K, and Fugitive is going to have to come back to her.
So-
And so we can safely say, I believe, right now, Captain Plug, that Whitty K is probably in the lead.
I would say so, yep. Fugitive does have a long way to come back. Let's see what we're looking at here.
Whitty K in the center, along with, I believe that is
Bullrich
to
on
the right side.
Yep,
And King of Knights on the left.
that's a great shot.
And that gives you a clear shot of it there as well. There are some boats sailing on the top of the race course, and so Whitty K and the rest of those boats are still going to have to come back to them, because I believe the boats at the top are closer to the mark, because the mark is all the way at the top.
They are. Excuse me. Yes, they are.
As far as sailing on a direct line to the
And I
marker.
think everybody's going to have to make at least one more attack here to get up to that marker. It'll be a port rounding. Whitty K could just keep going up until they make ley line, tack over on the starboard, and come in with the advantage. Whereas those other boats, if they're on ley line and come in on port tack, then they're going to be disadvantaged. What a shot from the drone!
Yeah, right on top of them.
I mean,
And look at those guys just doing everything they can to keep her laying off.
The perfect heel is basically what you see right there. You don't want the boat too flat. You don't want it too heeled over too much. Heeled over just so. I couldn't tell you how many degrees that is, but you know it if you're on the boat. When the boat gets that right heel, you can feel the boat pick up speed. The bow wants to cut up into the wind. Call out weather helm.
So there you have it. Sailing at its best. Whitty K maybe heeling over a little bit too much right now. As they get close out to that ocean breeze coming from between the keys.
Yep, exactly right. Just a little further offshore now, and coming right between those two keys there. A few
feel it
extra
coming.
puffs.
Unfortunate. Not sure what happened to New Eyes at the start line, but they are just drifting up and down in front of the beach at the moment. Must have been a major equipment failure, because they're not even attempting to get it fixed.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That is probably going to end any chances that they would have had of placing in this regatta. DNF.
Well, that's 17 points. So.
Yep, started off.
Yeah, even winning the next two races would give you 19 points, and that's not going to cut it.
No. You just have to finish in the top 5 a couple of times to eliminate any chance of New Eyes scoring. And winning two back-to-back in Rolleville with all the competition that we have is a task that I'm not sure that they can pull off. There's Whitty K now going back on her starboard lee.
Hard to see from the beach here whether she's on ley line or not.
I doubt it. I believe she's probably going to go back to port and then back to starboard one more time. I may be wrong.
And if there's any tide out there, they'll have to take that into consideration as well.
As you can see, she's definitely cutting everybody in front of her right now.
She on the move. There's New Eyes.
Yeah, just blocking our view right now. And yeah, so sailing underway here in Rolleville 2025, the 81st version of the Rolleville Regatta Homecoming. I'm Dwight Hart, Captain Stafford Patterson, Captain Plug out of Abaco, joining us once again. And there's Whitty K going across. I believe that may be Shroud that she just cut, and looking to go across. Oh, Sassy Sue's just cut her.
If that's Sassy on the crane and attacking right on top, that's just a smart move.
Yep.
To cover.
Cover right away.
Yep. I'm not seeing a number 10. Oh, I do see number 10 on the top of the sail there.
That's
Yep.
number 10.
So Sassy Sue just to windward of Whitty K, trying to cover. Heading towards the marker.
And doubt either of them are going to be able to make the mark from that spot. There may still be an additional port and starboard tack for both of them, because I believe the mark is still to the right of where they are at the moment. So Sassy Sue is going to try to chase Witty K as far away from that mark as possible before coming back. Because I believe the mark is further to the right where that powerboat is currently anchored.
Yeah, so several more tacks required. So you're probably looking at your top 4 boats in the picture here. Another one coming in on a slightly different line. They were further above, and still going to have to tack to get to that where that powerboat is.
And this is what sailing is all about. We don't want and we don't like straight one up and down in Rolleville. We like to see seamanship, sailing skills being displayed.
Not to cut you off, but the boat right in the top of the middle of your screen right now has a pretty good angle. And just going off on the left there, you got Sassy Sue and Witty K fighting with each other, but they're going away from the marker, whereas that boat there appears to be heading more towards it.
Right. I believe we may have to check to confirm where that mark is, because it may actually... Okay, there's your tack.
Yep.
Going back to port.
So
Witty
Sassy
K
Sue on the
and
top.
Sassy Sue covering right away. Okay.
Witty K on the bottom.
I think the mark is all the way up there somewhere.
Right there in the middle of the cut.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so the powerboat just off to the side.
Yep. Yep. You see a little white dot just in the middle of the cut. That is where the mark is. So Sassy Sue.
Okay.
But
Sassy Sue looking pretty good for the lead right now, with Witty K pretty close.
we have a couple other boats now coming back across on starboard from the bottom of the...
See how much speed they can generate, see if they can cut anybody.
One of them would have been Fugitive, I believe, who went down initially.
There's King and Knights coming over.
Yep,
Starboard tack.
Witty K about to cut her. And so we're going to start to see things get a little interesting in short order. We have a couple of boats coming on starboard, some boats on port.
Seems the middle was the way to go up the course. Maybe not so much over by the mainland there in the background. Great Exuma. Still got a few more tacks. There's the marker right in the middle of the screen, just going behind that boat there.
Yep.
Ignore the one in front that's right here off the beach.
Yeah, that's Witty K and Sassy Sue in your view to the right.
And they're
duking it out.
Going toe to toe. No doubt about it. Looks like Witty K might have a little bigger bag on the bottom of her sail. But she's right there with him. Trying to get a lift. Let the boat walk up into the wind a little bit.
And you can see to the far right, I believe that's Shroud. I'm seeing number 88 just behind the sail of Witty K.
I think it could be with those bright, big numbers.
Yeah, she's got some big numbers. I wish all the other boats would carry numbers that large. It'd be a lot easier to identify them. And definitely Shroud.
Shroud, yep. She's going way up before she tacks.
Yep, she's going to do a one tack to the mark. And if this holds in this order, we're doing a repeat of yesterday's ocean race and a repeat of yesterday's first serious points race before things were called off.
A couple more boats coming across the middle.
And looks like Warrior about to get cut by Fugitive. And Fugitive coming back now on starboard. So she was the boat that went all the way. And there's Shroud sailing all by herself. I mean, she just decided to stay out of it, come up the middle, and make one tack for the mark.
See how it works out for him.
And that may actually have been a pretty smart move because she's definitely up there.
anytime you can eliminate tacks and you're when you're going up to windward, you save time. Each tack slows you down a little bit and allows the competition to gain ground. So she's actually looking pretty good right now, but that windward marker is a ways over there in that cut. And don't know if they'll be able to come back and cut Sassy Sue and Woody K or not.
I am going to start to get out on this limb that I'm famous for getting out there and make a prediction that Shroud is going to be in the lead around that windward marker for the first time, upwind mark for the first time.
Certainly showing pretty good boat speed right now.
That boat is sailing extremely well. Just look at that beautiful. There comes the tack.
They're tacking
She's
over now.
Coming back to stop it. So this is going to be the grits. Who gets across who will be the lead boat.
So number 88 there, Shroud. She's on starboard tack. They have right away over the other two boats coming in on port, Sassy Sue and Witty K. Now it's a question if they can get up enough boat speed to cut them.
And it's going to be close. It's going to be extremely close.
Well, they're cutting Witty K for sure.
She's going to cut them all. She's going to cut them all, Captain Plug.
Holding that starboard tack.
Well,
is Stefan going to tack under him?
Stefan is going to try to tack under if he thinks he can make the mark from there.
But you see how his boat just slowed down there while Shroud is just moving right along. Each tack slows you down a bit.
And it's going to be a foot race now to the mark. Sassy Sue recovering very quickly, though.
Yep, got her boat speed back quick, as I would have expected them to do. And now it's a horse race, see if they're on ley line for the marker or not.
Yeah, she may have to do another short tack. We'll see. We'll watch as this mark comes into play.
Shroud has an advantage right now. They're to windward, and they got a nose over Sassy Sue.
Yes.
But don't count Stefan out for a moment, because I've seen him do it too many times. Just pull right up. Next thing you know, he's right on the inside of you, and he's got buoy room, and he slips around the marker in first place. And you go, how did he do that?
Shroud, let's get back to the right. Get that drone, go back to the right, and pick up the two lead boats. There you go. Shroud, Sassy Sue, neck and neck for the mark. Shroud with a slight advantage, Captain Plug. Slight advantage.
Yep. Stefan's having to pinch a little more than Shroud to get there. But he's a master at that. Looks like Shroud's got a little more boat speed right now because they're not pinching. If anything, they're footing off a little bit, heading to the windward marker. Going to leave it to port, standard operating. And then they'll adjust course and start heading downwind towards the downwind marker off the Regatta Beach here.
Yep. Sassy Sue with that big sail, though, is probably going to have the advantage coming downwind.
The bigger the sail going downwind definitely gives you an advantage. Looks like he's got a little bit more belly than Shroud's sail, but Shroud's got good boat speed right now. They're 3 boat lengths out in front of Sassy Sue. Going to take first place around the windward marker.
Shroud 1, Sassy Sue 2. Shroud is currently in first place. Sassy Sue in second as they make their way to the first upwind mark. Shroud about to go around in first place.
It's really putting on the speed now, Dwight.
Putting a little distance now for sure. Stefan's got his work cut out for him.
Yep. Gonna need a good clean rounding. Get the crew position, get a sail out.
They're doing all they can to hold her off.
Want to avoid hitting the marker. That's a 1-point penalty. Nice and clean around the marker.
She's around in second place. And I believe Witty K is going to hold on to the third place round. We'll pick up the others. Those boats are all making their way to the mark at the moment. Here comes Witty K, I believe.
Yep.
Going around in third place.
So despite sinking yesterday, they've got her back up and back in form.
Yep.
Third place around the windward marker, Witty K.
Fugitive going around in fourth place.
All right. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th all coming in fairly close. All on starboard tack. Can't see from this angle if anybody's coming in on port.
I think we had one boat coming in port and just sliding in behind the rest. And so, Fugitive now going around in 4th place. King of Knights fighting for 5th.
All right, we got a boat, 2 boats coming in on port tack. See if they can insert themselves into the flow of traffic without causing a problem.
I believe that is King of Knights along with either Confusion or Golden Girl.
Okay, no harm, no foul there.
All clean. Clean sailing so far, Captain Plug.
That's what we like to see.
Everybody giving each other just the right amount of space. And there goes King of Knights.
King of Knights in
Gonna be in
5th.
5th place.
Yep. Coming in 6th behind him, trying to read that number 18. That's Silent Partner.
Crazy
partner.
Out of Abaco. I believe I see 72 coming in behind. Bullrich 711.
Yep.
95 Warrior along with Golden Girl.
Neck and neck there with Crazy Partner and King of Knights heading downwind. King of Knights got a slight lead. 3 more boats coming around tight. One of them stalling out on the inside, losing boat speed. Another one going out wide.
Wow, stalling right to the mark. Stalling right to the mark. Are they going to make contact?
Contact. Right there. That's a 1-point penalty.
Contact.
And they're looking under the sail going, did we really do that?
You did it.
Yeah, they really stalled out. They got to watch how they don't hook the anchor rope under the rudder.
I'm not sure which boat that is. If we can get the drone down there, right on the mark, pick up that boat because there's going to be some activity.
Have they hooked the marker?
And I believe they may be tangled in the mark. Was that termite? Not sure. Be surprised.
A couple more boats coming in hot on starboard tack. Another one still on port. Got a tack over to make the marker rounding. And I believe they have hooked up into that marker.
Yeah, if we can get the drone down there, we can check it out, see which boat it is.
I believe they have hooked up into that marker.
Yeah, if we can get the drone down there, we can check it out, see which boat it is.
We've got the majority of the fleet coming downwind with the sails out on the port side.
Is that Fugitive? No.
We've got the majority of the fleet coming downwind with the sails out on the port side.
Is that Fugitive? No. Fugitive. That was Fugitive. So
we've got the majority of the fleet coming downwind with the sails out on the
Fugitive. We'll get the correct name of them as they make their way this way, but it looks like Sassy Sue may have inched in front of Shroud. Not sure. We'll get the.
That'll cause you to lose speed, but just a little bit of gentle weight movement on the prize brings it back. That'll cause you to lose speed, but just a little bit of gentle weight movement on the prize brings it back down without pushing it in the water.
And I'm not sure whether today's race course is gonna take a.
That'll cause you to lose speed, but trying to make up some ground, see if they can get back in the mix with those 2 boats. The mix with those 2 boats there. Top 3 boats yesterday. It's there. Top 3 boats yesterday from the ocean race. Duking it out again. Trying to make up some ground. Duking it out again. Trying to make up some ground.
A Fugitive doing a dunk-de-dunk. A Fugitive doing a dunk-de-dunk with the mark. I believe they were all clean around.
Yeah, and the top 3 boats for sure are kind of out by themselves. Everybody else fairly close together.
Well, the top 2, a Fugitive doing a dunk-de-dunk with the going when there weren't that many in Rolleville who had the capacity. Or ability to do it. And so we have cemented his name in the annals of the history of the Rolleville Regatta by naming the first points race the Kermit Roll Cup race. And I'm hopeful that long after I'm gone, that name remains, and that race remains to be sailed in his honor.
I think it will be. Quite a gentleman to put in that type of commitment, 40 years on the committee and everything. But that's what it takes sometimes to keep these things going. And tell you what, you guys have a great thing going here, and looking forward to number 82 already.
There's your drone shot, and I believe as we probably predicted, Sassy Sue with that big sail would have overpowered Shroud, and she seems to have done exactly that on the bed.
Yep, they got a 2-boat length there, heading down towards the leeward marker.
And,
Woody K kind of out there between first and second, and a lot of the fleet there coming up hot behind him. We got 4 or 5 boats there. It's going to be interesting when they get to the leeward marker, how they manage to get around, who gets to pull up to windward the most, which is what you want to do as you round that marker. Just going to sheet in the main.
If we can get the drone down on these 2 boats that we see right now, number 15 and then the boat just to the right, they don't have a sail number, and I just need to see the hull so that we can determine which boat that is. I'm suspecting it's either Golden Girl or Confusion. We'll need to get our drone in there. Sprayhound, Elron Roll, sailing out of Rolleville. All right, so there you have it. Rolleville duking it out for 4th and 5th, but with the Miss Rowe sailing number 15. There's King of Knights in 6th place.
And I think Crazy Partner.
Crazy Partner in 7th. And
yep.
Warrior, I believe, over there sailing with number 95.
Pretty steady breeze out there. Not too overpowering. You want to keep your boom out of the water like that boat there on the right just did. Slows you down a bit. But these boats are very twitchy. They're a large sail on a small boat, 17-footer. And it takes good crew coordination to keep the boat at the angle that you so desire. Confusion.
Beautiful shot from the drone. Right
pushing that water away from the bow. Side by side.
And Bull Ritz sailing.
Their bow's a little higher out of the water. Maybe they got a little more weight in the back of the boat.
Giving a friendly wave to the drone. Okay, I believe I see that the committee has set up the downwind mark. Captain Plug just to the left of our vantage point here.
All right.
And so Sassy Sue and Shroud are going to be up on that mark in about 2 minutes. Followed by Widdy K in 3rd. Distance back right now. She's going to have to make up a lot of ground if she wants to be in the top conversation. Looking right now like the race is between Sassy Sue and Shroud.
Sure does, and I think they'll, when they get to that marker there, they'll just sheet in the main and trim in head upwind on starboard tack, no jibing, but we're not sure.
Yep, well, let's go flash news. This was the exact position they were in yesterday when the race was called.
Isn't that something, man? I tell you, coincidences, conspiracy theories. No, it's just good sailing. Boats that are in trim, the right sail selection. The captain and the crew all on the same page.
And you know, there was, after that race was called yesterday, of course, Stefan, who was leading the race, and we informed him that we'd be sailing it again today, and he was like, whatever.
Yeah, he told me he didn't care.
Didn't care.
But Here we are anyhow, and here he is leading the pack again. Getting close to the marker.
It would be nice if the boats did have to come into the harbor close to shore on a check.
It sure would give everybody a little bit closer view, and there'll be action around this if this was to be the marker here.
I see one of the committee boats making their way here. I'm not sure though that's any indication of what's going to happen.
The winds
going around on port, I would think, eh?
The winds are light enough that they could job around that marker and come in this way. You just really got to be on your game so as not to heel over too much.
They're
going back up.
Going back out because they're leaving the buoy to starboard, eh?
Yep. So windward, leeward course, we refer to it as a hot dog. You just go up and back. No jobbing involved. That's a good thing from a safety sinking perspective. And Shroud getting on the inside there.
Oh, yeah. Trying to chuck up under Stefan, kind of what he likes to do to the other boats. We'll see now whether
they're around the marker, and then they both tacked immediately.
Yep.
So Stefan on the left, number 10, Sassy Sue, Shroud, 88 on the right. And they're not in a good position. They're getting dirty air off of Sassy Sue's sail. They're going to have to make a decision pretty quick what they want to do.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to really lose some ground as quickly as that. Stefan just gets that boat up and running almost immediately.
It almost seemed like Shroud them just stalled a little bit when they made that tack. Perhaps they weren't quite ready to tack. But
so sailing away from Sassy Sue at the moment. And
yeah, that's,
obviously she had to clear the race course for the boats coming up.
Yeah, they definitely want to do that, and that'll put them out in some nice clean air. Then if they can harden up and point a little bit higher, then up is Stefan tacking. No.
Witty K just going around in third place.
Top two boats split, one side or the other.
Two Exuma boats slugging it out now for fourth and fifth. On your right side, number 15, Miss Rowe. On the left, Sprayhound, sailed by Elron Rolle.
Sprayhound has the inside line. That gives them an advantage.
Just behind them, King of Knights.
And
confusion in there as well. Now, they have to be very careful because it looks like they could be in a contact situation. That boom is coming over pretty close.
Okay. Boat on the inside. Now the trick is to bring it up real hard into the wind and hope that nobody cuts above you. See how we do there.
King of Knights going around.
Two around clean.
And they pushed Miss Roy all the way out, and she's almost given up two positions right there, and she's got to be careful.
Oh, boy.
Very careful. Very careful.
Everybody wants to tack right as they clear that marker.
Everybody careful. Got to do it carefully.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Man in the water.
And that is from, I believe, Sprayhound.
Got another boat coming around the inside there.
Crazy partner. Man overboard.
Crazy partner. Okay. Sail down.
Two men overboard. All right. I've got holding on to
King of Knights dropping their sail. Maybe they went into irons. I think they just stalled out. They're just trying to get out of irons. So a little bit of action there at that marker rounding. Crew in the water, boats in irons. Positions changing a little bit maybe.
Yep.
King of Knights going wide.
Trying to stay clear.
A couple more boats coming around there. They're going to avoid all that mess and probably improve their positions a little bit.
Yep, Confusion and Bull Rich.
See if they tack over immediately like everybody else seemed to want to do. Yep, there they go.
And the boats are coming to this mark right in front of us here in the harbor, Captain Plug. So we're going to get to see some real action. And
fantastic. Sassy Sue leading the way.
Well, I believe Sassy Sue wasn't sure that she was supposed to come this way because Shroud has actually got the lead. Because
I'm looking up from the screen now. Yes, sir. Number 88. So we are sailing a triangular course.
Yes, indeed.
We've got the third marker, the reach marker here, right straight in front of the broadcast booth. Shroud coming in real fast. So a little bit of confusion out there on the race course from the navigational perspective. Sassy Sue corrected, but she's lost half a dozen boat lengths to Shroud.
Easy. I'm not sure why there would have been any confusion if they had been given a race course prior to the start of the race.
Because the you know, those 4th, 5th, 6th boats there, they were all going off back up to windward. So Shroud out front, Sassy Sue in second.
And I mean, Shroud has put a huge gap now between herself and Sassy Sue.
And they're clear around the marker.
There she is, number 88, Shroud.
Looking real good right at the moment. Long upwind leg, second upwind leg. But right now with a clear advantage. See what Stefan can pull out of his hat to compete with that. And behind Sassy Sue, we got 3rd and 4th coming in. Pretty close. Well, not so close maybe. 4th place looks like it's going to be Woody K. I can see the 44. And 3rd is Sprayhound, I think. Is that gray hull? Nice shot from the drone. Looking down at Stefan in his customary red cap. Main sheet guy trimming the mainsail in. You want to clear that marker without touching. Real close, but no foul there. So Sassy Sue setting off in chase of the Shroud, number 88, out there in the front. 3rd place coming in, no sail number. There she is, just 3rd and 4th place coming in on the now in the middle of your screen, and followed by the majority of the fleet there. Still got a few coming around the leeward marker. So 3rd place right at the bottom, I think Sprayhound. 4th place, number 44, Woody K. There's the reach marker. Skipper's cutting it in nice and tight. Lift the prize up so they go right over the marker without touching. Sheet in the main, harden up. 3rd place. Water looks really shallow from the drone, but that's just because it's how clear it is, folks.
Looks like Sprayhound is taking over 3rd place.
See, they have Woody K coming in 4th.
Woody K now coming in 4th place.
Prize over the marker, no foul. 5th and 6th coming in neck and neck. The boat on the right side of your screen will have the inside line. They have the advantage. They get buoy room from the other boat. The boat cannot squeeze them up against the marker and cause them to foul it. 2 good lines there. The boat on the left will try the crossover maneuver when they come around. Try to get above the boat on the right.
Yep, Bullrich on the left, and I think Confusion on the left. Or is that Golden Girl? We'll get the name.
Golden Girl messed us all up by not painting the boat yellow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Definitely got the inside line there. Watch Bullrich try to pull up just behind the stern and come up above him. It's a classic crossover maneuver. Pinch it up, pinch it up. Not going to be able to do it. Not going to be able to do it. Now they're getting dirty air.
They're going to have to tack away.
Several more boats coming in close.
I think we've got Warrior. Then it ain't right.
Warrior, I got the inside line. Let's see if it ain't right. Number 72 can do the crossover. They're right on their transom.
Followed by Crazy Partner. Then Termite.
72 pushes it up close to the marker. Trying to get that above. Can they hold it? Can they hold the speed? Can they hold off the Crazy Partner coming right behind them, trying to do the same thing?
And then Termite making her way around.
Crazy Partner not going to be able to do it. She's going to have to fall off. 72 holding the line.
15, Miss Rui.
Oh, they hit the marker.
Hit the mark.
King and Knights coming in hot. Meanwhile, Shroud out by themselves. Looking nice and trim. Lots of boat speed. few more boats to come around the beach marker here. This is great. Between the monitors here and just looking up with my naked eyes, man, this is fantastic. We're right in the middle of the action.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're thinking about coming to a regatta, folks, and you want to get close to the sailing action, you could do it right here with a cup of conch salad in your hand.
Yes. All right.
A couple of boats coming back now on starboard tack.
Shroud being one of them.
They don't want to sail too far away from the marker. Right now they're heading more towards it. And they're in good clean air. Here's the opportunity for the skippers to exercise different strategies. Go one way, see if you get a lift, stay with the fleet, cover the person right behind you. Lots of possibilities. Sometimes you go off on your own and you think, boy, I'm never going to catch him up. And when you come back on crossover, you're right there with him. And is there a boat out there still going downwind? Just over here on the far right?
Well, no,
Oh,
that's Shroud actually.
That's Shroud, okay.
On our starboard.
That's just my vision.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's definitely above these other boats.
Final boat in the round of 17 to go around now. Fugitive, who had a calamity up at the upwind mark on her first leg, hit the mark, got stalled at the mark, probably got tangled at the mark. And,
but they got back in it. That's the spirit. That's the way to do it.
Yep.
Press on regardless. Looking out here, out into the harbor, I'm not sure if Shroud is on ley line. I don't think they will be, but
all the way to the top right of your screen, there's your Shroud at the top.
She wouldn't be too far from it.
Yeah, she's gonna have to come back on another port tack in a bit, but I think they're gonna all sail all the way to that dark blue vein out there, and then make their way from that point directly to the line.
Yeah. Shroud's gonna have to do a couple more tacks to get to the marker there.
As you can see,
but quite a lead over on Sassy Sue and everybody else.
Woody K.
Still not sure what happened at that leeward marker when there seemed to be some confusion about which way to go. But here's what we have. So we call it as It Ain't Right in the middle of your screen, number 72.
95, Mount Laura. 43, Kermit. King of Knights going across on starboard.
Good steady pressure on the sails. 8 to 10 miles an hour, southeast. It's great sailing weather.
Absolutely. Once you have your boat properly trimmed with the correct sail, you should be in pretty good stead today.
So the windward marker there is in that cut between the two keys there, just on the left side of the screen, I think. Or is it on this side on the right coming up?
From this particular vantage point, you would have to be looking a little ways to your right.
To the right, yeah.
You'll be able to pick up the mark. Shroud is now gone back on a port tack. And they have to be careful because there are some currents sometimes that come through these keys that could affect your boat forward speed if you get caught in the wrong stream.
We learned our lesson the hard way in the Narrows in Nassau and Montague Bay. Boy, the current could rip through there. So different strategies. We got boats on both sides of the course, both left and right.
On your screens, Shroud all the way to the right, sailing pretty much by herself. And to the left, I believe that is the Sassy Sue, who's a little bit higher on the course. Stefan normally tries to take the highest point, direct line to the mark.
It's good strategy, but he's got a gap to make up there.
Yeah,
not
sure.
that it's impossible.
Well, you know, downwind she is.
She's flying downwind.
Extremely fast coming downwind. Yes.
Yeah, maybe a little bit extra breeze just coming in here. There's one tiny little cloud, but still looking pretty steady out there in the course, looking at the boat's heeling and the way the sails are. Beautiful shot.
Absolutely.
Rolleville Harbor. Man,
gorgeous.
Beaches out there to explore.
And all natural. There's no skyscrapers, no houses, nothing to disturb nature out there.
It's beautiful. Pretty good spread there between first, second, and third. I'd like to see them close it up a little bit and make it a little more exciting, but back in the pack there, fourth, fifth, sixth, I think we got some battles going on. As I mentioned just now, we got boats on both sides of the course. So when they tack and come back towards each other, then we'll see how the positions are. Trout just hauling. Sassy Sue.
And Shroud looks like she is almost pointing directly towards the mark.
They are pointing real good right now.
Yeah, I don't think that she's going to need to tack anymore except to the mark.
Yeah, if they do, it'll just be a short tack right around the marker, leave it to port. That'll be the end of the second upwind, and we have the downwind. We are going to assume a 2-lap race, but the race committee has a final say on that.
Yeah, I believe.
If they want to go 3 laps, we'll stay right here and call it for you.
And there's Miss Rowe cutting across King of Knights, I believe. That brightly colored hull, big letters on the sail.
Yeah, so we had this discussion, when I say we, as you know, as the Abaco team, about logos on sails, advertising logos and stuff like that. And I know the National Family Island Regatta doesn't allow it, or if you do, you have to pay a fine or something like that. Logos on the from businesses. But now, if you put a boat name like King of Knights,
yes,
or it ain't right on the sail, it's going to make it easier for the fans and the announcers to see which boat it is.
Yep.
And it's not advertising; it's just the boat name. So, is that going to become a trend? I mean, I'm sort of on the fence on that one.
Well, I think certainly having the names on the sails in big letters, or either that or big numbers.
Big numbers, big name.
Yep.
And then we saw in the A race, in the A fleet there at NFIR, that they had the silhouette of Lundy on the sail on Silent Partner. Right. Made that boat very easy to identify, and certainly a nice tribute to a fine gentleman and sailor.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, keep it traditional. You know, the traditional sails, the canvas and Egyptian cotton, and they don't have anything on it, just a number. Well, okay, but the sport has evolved over the years to where we are today, and we want to make it a better experience for the fans and the viewers.
Yeah, exactly. If we're making it for television event, and we have to do the things that make for television events good to watch.
It might be something for committees to think about.
Well, I'll tell you, the Rolleville Committee this year explored partnering with a business, and one of the things they wanted to do was to get their logo and name on a sail, and we had agreed to do it. And we had a boat lined up to get it done, and if that deal had come through, that was going to be happening here in Rolleville. It's in place for next year, so you be assured when you come back here next year, there's going to be at least one boat that is going to be carrying the corporate logo of a sponsor. We have to find creative ways to fund these regattas.
Yep.
And that is obviously one of the ways to go. When you ask corporate companies to donate or sponsor, there's got to be something in it for them. And obviously advertising is what you know, most of the companies want. They want to see an ad in a book. They want to see a flyer, a flag flying at the regatta site. But now some of them are asking, can we get our names either on the hulls or on the sails? And we've said yes.
Well, that's great. I'm all for progressing the sport, and certainly it's great exposure. And you know, having a logo or company logo, brand name on a sail, it's not going to interfere with the sailing in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely not.
The sailing's going to be exactly the same. It's just it's not a traditional look, but we need to further the sport, and we can't do it without sponsors, corporate sponsors. So I think as a sailing group, we should be looking at that for a lot more regattas other than just Rolleville next year.
Of course, you know, I'm involved in conversations yearly with sailors about what they want to get out of the sport. They want to get paid for sailing now, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to move it towards either a full-time professional organization or at least a semi-professional organization? Because we have to be honest with ourselves. There are some who keep trying to suggest that the government should fund sailing. We all know that's not going to happen, and we should not even be walking down that road, in my opinion.
No, and back in 2019, we started working on forming the Bahamas Sloop Sailing Federation, trying to get everybody, all the different clubs under one umbrella with standard rules and things like logos on sails and stuff like that. So that's something to work towards as well.
Well, I hope that conversation gets started even in more earnest. Certainly this year. Again, I don't know whether we're going to be trendsetters in this or not, because if we get one, we're going to be looking to get others. And I'm sure once it's announced that there's at least one corporate sponsor, there are going to be others who are going to come to the table and say, can we get on as well?
Yeah.
And we're going to be very open to it as long as the boat owners are prepared to partner. And obviously it's going to have to be a partnership because, and I'm almost certain that the boat owners are going to want to get paid to have that corporate logo on their boats, and we're prepared to do it.
Well, yeah, well, that would be a win-win for the sailors and for the corporations that wish to advertise and support sloop sailing.
And certainly for us in the committee fundraising departments that, you know.
I know that's a hair-pulling department.
Boy, let me tell you.
All right, fleet's making their way up towards the windward marker for the second time. Coming in from both sides. Need the drone to differentiate there, but several boats coming in pretty close. Guessing that's Shroud there on the left. Nope. Who's this coming in? A couple boats coming in there. Telephoto lens makes it difficult to
determine.
With they're getting cut. And they're cutting.
I think that's.
No, they're getting cut big time by. Oh boy, we got somebody tacking there.
And I believe that's.
And covering. Is that Sassy Sue covering Shroud?
Number 18.
Number 18. Okay, that's a crazy partner.
Yep.
They tacked and covered somebody.
Number 15, Rolle.
And King of Knights coming above them with a big head of speed.
Yeah. So that race is for boats that are further down in the fleet. Wow.
Yep.
And,
a little bit of action there.
We turned just too quickly. I hope I didn't see a boat go down. We pulled away from it just as that action was happening. But here's your top two boats right now. I believe that's Shroud coming across the top on the starboard tack, and she's going to cut across Sassy Sue. Pretty much.
If that is Shroud, and I think it is, she's really, really moving. She's got him.
Quite some distance between her and, if that is Sassy Sue, would be the second place boat at this point.
Shroud, man, they're really in the groove this weekend. Tacking up to the windward marker there. We got another boat coming in on the left.
I believe it's Witty K.
It's a bit of a distance between them and number one, Shroud. Now, will Witty K cut Sassy Sue or not? Sassy Sue had a slow tack there. They've stalled out, but getting speed going now.
And And Sprayhound is somewhere in this mix because Sprayhound actually had 3rd place when they came into this mark here near the beach. Where she's gone to now, not yet sure. And there goes Shroud to the top left, about to go around the mark, and she is definitely held on to and extending the lead on Sassy Sue.
Yeah, Sue might have made up a little bit of difference on the upwind there, but not a whole lot.
And she's gonna have to hope that that big sail that she's got will help her to gain some additional ground on that downwind leg. And I believe the boats are gonna come down and finish. They may actually finish here at the beach. And so they'll go down and do another starboard tack around the downwind mark and then make their way right up here to the shore. We have tide is significantly high enough where they can finish here close to the beach.
Okay, Whitty K tacking over on the starboard, hoping to make ley line to the windward marker there.
And I think that's Sprayhound coming from her left, and so that's the boat that had 3rd place on her earlier. Let's see if Whitty K has made up any distance. I believe she's significantly ahead of Sprayhound, who's coming.
Sprayhound coming in on port tack, Whitty K on starboard with the advantage.
And the distance, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're going to get him. Meanwhile, Shroud, top of your screen there, heading downwind, big lead over number 2, Sassy Sue.
That's a Sassy Sue type lead. That's a Sassy Sue type lead, but it's Shroud with the lead.
Whitty K and Sprayhound working on 3rd place. Whitty K right in the bottom of your screen there, on starboard tack with the advantage. Looks like they're going to cut Sprayhound.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you tuned in, watching from around the world, got some friends in Canada tuned in. I've got some friends in China tuned in. I've got some friends in Nigeria tuned in. Shroud, 1st place. 2nd place, Sassy Sue. 3rd place, Whitty K. And I believe Sprayhound will be coming in 4th place.
They'll need to make one quick tack there. Nice and smooth. You don't want to lose too much time to the boat they're trying to catch. Whitty K. Stay at the top right of your screen. Here they go tacking over. Bahamian's using his weight to try to balance the boat out. Get that perfect heel, keep the speed going, get the guys out in the pry.
That's Edison Smith.
And there they go, fighting that weather helm. And there she goes, back up to hull speed. Keep your feet out of the water, no extra drag to slow you down.
I'm always amazed at some of these sailors that go sailing in jeans. Like
I couldn't do it. I gotta have shorts and something on my feet. Here's the windward marker.
Well, the Sassy Sue have enough cloth and horsepower to chase down Shroud as she did on the 1st leg.
It's gonna be a drag race, that's for sure.
Distance is a bit more than the 1st time around.
Shroud's gonna really want to watch what's going on behind him. Try to go blow for blow, if you will. Definitely a little more sail on Sassy Sue there. You can see in the middle.
Yes.
Shroud there just to the right. The black lettering numbers. Not quite as high as Sassy Sue's. And here we have a crossing.
Yep, Confusion on the bottom. And number 95, Ma Laura. And then they've got to have a reckon with King of Knights, who's coming on port, so she's going to have to probably dip behind them.
She's going to have to duck or do a real quick tack.
They're going to go behind, I think. Skipper's already positioned the tiller to come in close behind.
That would be
close.
wise. They keep the speed up, come around both of them and tack above them. See if they can keep the speed going. But a little bit of separation taking place there now, maybe a half boat length between the two. They're getting ready to attack. King and Knight's coming over. Get that sail set.
Yep. Quick tack, and almost immediately the boat starting to pick up speed again.
Another one coming in on port, but I think they're all clear.
Yeah, it's Rolle coming in from.
So Malara on the inside, heading for the marker.
Confusion, Malara, King of Knights. Meanwhile, in the middle of the harbor coming down is Shroud, followed by Sassy Sue. Sassy Sue making up some ground, some of the distance now. Maybe 25% of what it was when they went around the mark. Followed by Witty K and Sprayhound. So we've got Nassau, Long Island, Exuma. First, second, third, and fourth.
Witty K and Sprayhound fairly close together. Third and fourth. Some more boats coming around. Yep. Nice and clean.
Confusion, Malara, King of Knights.
King and Knights has a choice whether to go above or below these boats. Looks like they're going to go below, perhaps. If you go above, you need to leave a minimum of 2 boat lengths to the boat below you for safety, so your boom doesn't accidentally smack somebody on the head. So King and Knights are going to go low.
And now Miss Rolle making her way around. And just look at that crystal clear water. You can see all the way to the bottom. Starfish smiling at you. Sand dollars.
Makes me want to go swimming.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first place, Shroud, showing what they can do. Sassy Sue, second place. Stefan showing what he can do because he's making up ground on Shroud real quick.
And Shroud sailing for the first time here in Exuma, Rolleville. She has been showing her prowess of recent. Top 3, I believe, in Long Island at the recent Long Island Regatta. Sailed pretty well as well in the National Family Island Regatta.
Yep.
And so she's definitely been starting to flex and get in trim, and I think those guys are trying to sail in as many of these other regattas to continue to strengthen their skills and make sure this boat becomes one of the top contenders.
No better teacher than experience, hands-on experience. Steph has really got his work cut out for him, though.
And this race replaces the race that was called off yesterday, the Kermit Roll Cup race. First serious points race. Prize money for this particular race, $800 going to the winner, $600 going to second place, and $400 going to the third place position.
Go a long way towards a new sail.
Yes. You can pick up a couple more of these points positions in the 2 additional cup races coming up, and start to collect your coins. First place overall in this year's regatta, Captain Plug, is going to be $2,000. Second place finish, $1,500. Third place finish, $1,000.
That's some excellent prize money, I can tell you. As a boat owner, part owner of Lonesome Dove, every little bit helps. Really appreciate all the regatta committees, first of all, for having regattas for us to sail our boats in, and then for having nice prize money makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Absolutely. Well,
Number 10.
Chairman of the Rolleville Regatta Committee, we've tried every year to go up by just a little bit if we could. Last year, first place was $1,800. This year, we've gone up by $200 to make it $2,000.
On behalf of all our sailors, we thank the committees for doing that. Oh, there's a great shot from the drone showing 88 Shroud, first place.
Let's run it right down, Carson, from one to the next. Let's see it all. Straight shot down. He's coming back in, he says, the next round.
Okay.
Get a fresh set of batteries in that drone.
Great shot from the drone. Number 2 there in second place. Sassy Sue. Stefan gnashing his teeth trying to catch up.
Yes, trying to get as much out of that big
Shroud
sail as he can.
Shroud crew there on that quick shot. You can see 3 of them sitting down low, trying to keep the boat as steady as possible. Stop that sail from shaking, the boat from rocking and doing the death roll. Looking pretty smooth right now. Now, if they're going to jibe around this marker and sail in towards the shore to finish, that gives an opportunity for error and possibly for people to make up distance. Let's see what the race committee's got going here. Shroud just really, I mean, she's flying. She's got good boat speed dialed in.
Oh yeah, she's. I think that distance between her and Sassy Sue, even with the big sail that Sassy Sue is carrying, I mean, her sail looks almost like a B-class sail compared to the others.
They've made up a little ground, but unless something happens, I don't think it's going to be enough. Unless we have a third lap.
And I don't think that was in the cards. I think the guys want to get this race over in the books and make their way down to that beach party that's going to be cranking up.
Yeah, I see that. It's 4:20 now. The beach party is 4 o'clock. Or
yeah, that's the start. Although it takes a while for it to get jumping.
Man, that's everything in the Bahamas. It takes a while to get jumping. We've certainly got jumping action out here on the race course. We got a few boats back there that are close. We'll see how they maneuver around the leeward marker.
Yeah, 4th, 5th, 6th. We've got, well, 4th place now. I think Sprayhound has got it pretty much in the box.
Yep, they've stepped out for sure.
5th, 6th, 7. I know we have King and Knights in there. We have Miss Rory in there. We have Confusion in there, and also Ma Laura, I believe.
Yep, Crazy Partners in the mix.
And Crazy Partner as well.
Not sure where It Ain't Right is. We didn't see her in that last shot around the windward marker. '88, just smoking right along. First place. Skipper Fernando is probably even looking back now.
No.
He's just looking for that marker. He's listening to his bowman, giving him directions because he really can't see through the sail. So he's dependent on his bowman to give him directions, high, low, straight, 100 yards, 200 yards, what have you, from the marker. And here we are with a front row seat on all the action. Good to have you on board. Make sure and call your friends up and tell them that we're going to have more action on Monday. It's going to be a full day of sailing. And we'll be out here to bring it all to you live.
Yep, beginning at 9 o'clock with the juniors sailing in E-Class. The first race tomorrow is an open E-Class. It's not points, it's a cup race sponsored by the Exuma Sailing Club. And we have opened it up to any of the seniors that may want to sail in that race, any of the boat owners that may want to give their hand a try to sail with a junior. So we expect that a couple of boats will be carrying a senior member in that first race, and then we'll get the 3 points race out of the way in a hurry.
So I understand the that open race is from the Exuma Point Club or whatever it is down the shore here. About a mile or so down the shore. They're going to sail upwind here, and then I guess the 3 points races will be in the harbor right here in front of regatta site.
Yes, yes.
Great shot from the drone there.
Look at that fleet stretched out. They're all coming out of that snake.
First, second, third, and fourth out in their own sections. 5th, 6th, 7th, they're in a group. 8, 9, 10, they're in a group. So still lots of opportunity for action and position changing, especially at the leeward marker. I think they're going to jibe there and come into shore to finish. See what happens when Shroud gets there. Well, Thank goodness for this breeze. It's keeping it calm, cool here in the regatta site. And the sailors are having a fine day out there, showing us what they can do. Shroud coming right up on the marker now.
You know, Cap, I don't know if you want to count the sails. Do we still have 17 boats sailing?
I'll count just a sec. Okay, Shroud is hardened up, and
she's going to be making her way in front of us, I believe, for the finish.
Did they just do attack instead of jibing? I think that's what they did. Or are they going back upwind?
I think they're probably just going to go up a little bit to get some speed and then make their way here to the finish. The committee boat is coming in this direction, so I expect that they're going to be coming here for the finish.
All right, yep, I think they are headed this way, and that was a very safe maneuver to tack instead of jibing around the mark. They tacked.
Yep.
And you're much more liable to sink on a jibe than you are with a tack.
Yeah, and they're going to finish, I believe, just at the start line. We've got 2 markers set up.
Yep.
So just come between.
Finish is going to be right here in front of the crowd here at Regatta Park in Rolleville. Okay. Number 2 boat, Sassy Sue, is also hardened up. And she's coming around. They're tacking as opposed to jibing.
I'm only counting 16 boats, and I think 4. I saw an incident.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm only counting 16 also. Uh-oh. Did somebody go over out of view over here?
Just as we were cutting away from a drone shot, I saw what looked like a boat tipping over. Couldn't remember. Either that or a fugitive may have just retired because she was so far behind. And already with the penalties for the contact, they may have just sailed her home because her home base is in that part of the harbor that's out of view right now.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. They did kind of flounder past us here. All right, so there on the right side of your screen, first and second place heading in towards the finish.
Well, you know what, Cap? Here's what it is. We're forgetting that New Eyes didn't start, so that was number 17.
That's it. That was New Eyes that was floundering in front of us here for a while. Yep.
Yes. All right, Shroud.
So fugitives back there somewhere.
Yep.
Shroud stepping out, coming charging in towards the finish line.
Whitty K now going around the mark.
And they are also leaving it to starboard.
Yep.
Maybe that's what the race committee required.
Yep.
As opposed to a port rounding, which would offer the opportunity to jibe. By having a starboard rounding required by the race committee, that eliminates anybody jibing, which is safer and less likely to sink any of these boats.
So safe tack, short tack around, and
yep.
then you just make your way.
Kudos to the race committee for doing that. Okay.
All right, let's get set up for the finish. Got the committee boats here setting up the finish line.
Shroud
There's
coming in.
Shroud, full speed. Look at that beautiful sail. Oh my God. Boat perfectly trimmed. No rocking, just powering straight ahead. Steady. Mast with a slight bow to it. Means that that sail is applying a lot of pressure. Big congratulations to the crew of Shroud. First time here in Rolleville. And they're going to get the gun for this first serious points race, the Kermit Roll Cup race, about to come to an end.
Just not enough time and distance for Sassy Sue in second place to
made up some ground.
They did make up some ground, but yep. Not enough time and distance to overtake.
No.
And so they're going to have to settle for second place. And third appears to be Whitty K. Shroud.
Making our way to the finish line. This first C-Class race is about to come to a climax with Shroud. You're going to get a gun. There's the gun. First place, number 88, Shroud.
Well done to the crew and skipper.
First time sailing in Rolleville. Cap, they're going to try to do what you guys did last year.
That's a big confidence boost, you know, to have a good result yesterday in the ocean race.
Yep.
And now to take a gun in the first points race, put your confidence up.
Yep.
And so we'll see what they can do on Monday, tomorrow.
Second place coming around, Sassy Sue. And Stefan will never be out of it, and he just needs to swap places with Shroud tomorrow. And he'll be right back there. So 1 point for Shroud, 2 points for Sassy Sue. And it looks like Witty K will get third place and 3 points to start the points counting at this 81st Rolleville Regatta and Homecoming. And we've got 2 boats now making their way to this final mark. I believe it's Confusion on the inside and King of Knights on the outside. So Confusion going around.
King of Knights going to cut in tight.
King of Knights going to cut in tight, and
They've got to tack around, leaving the marker to starboard, tack around to head back into the shore to the finish. See what King of Knights can do.
on top of them is Laura. So King of Knights.
They're both getting the speed going.
Yep, and she's gonna go right up the stern of Miss Rowe and Crazy Partner, or is it Ain't Right? And they've got to hold off Confusion.
I think that's the 2 Abaco boats there. I think Crazy Partner followed by It Ain't Right.
Back to neck and neck. Oh yeah. Well, Miss Rowe actually.
No, Miss Rowe and Crazy Partner. Crazy Partner trying to come on the inside.
And there's It Ain't Right now coming across the top of them. So she's there, but
Crazy Partner fighting for position. They clear the marker. Yeah, we're here on the beach cam. Crazy Partner unable to improve their position. Woody K coming in, 3rd place, crossing the finish line.
she's around.
Third place for Woody K.
4th place.
4th place, sorry.
Well, no, Witty K 3rd place.
Oh.
I was just going to point out that 4th place is going to go to Spray Hound.
Spray Hound making a good show in here today.
This is Spray Hound's 2nd time sailing. She's a brand new boat built by Steve Smith.
All right.
Out of Staniel.
Right.
And this is her 2nd time sailing in Rolleville. The boat is nicknamed Smoker for some reason. I'm not sure why. The fellas in Rolleville will have to explain that one.
Well, Spray Hound is certainly pushing the water apart now, coming into the finish line here. Pretty good speed.
Yep. Sail may have been just slightly too big for the day's wind condition.
Certainly got a larger belly than what I'm seeing in the other boats.
Yeah.
It's a fine line there with these C-class boats choosing the right sail.
Absolutely.
A little bit too much, and you're overpowered. And no, you do not go faster because you have the massive sail.
No.
It actually slows you down.
And so Spray Hound in 4th place. Laura looks like she's going to take 5th place. 6th place is going to go to Confusion. 7th place, King of Knights. 8th place, Miss Rowe. 9th place, It Ain't Right. Crazy Partner, 10th. Well, that's me just trying to test out my eyes, but I'm knowing for sure.
Well, we know we're 4th across the line.
Yes.
Here's 5th place coming up, number 95.
Yep, Laura.
Several committee boats out there and a few spectator boats as well. Lots of armchair sailing going on behind us here in the regatta park.
As always.
It's the tone of voices are up and down depending on who's rounding the marker. The conversation seems to be slanted towards the Exuma boats. Quite understandable, as this is Exuma. And hey, if it was an Abaco, you know, it'd be the same thing. We'd be yelling for the Abaco boats.
All right, Ma Laura going through the line now. She's going to pick up 5 points.
So his 6th and 7th kind of pretty close to each other.
Confusion and 6, King and Knights.
King and Knights trying a different strategy by pulling up into the wind.
Not enough distance.
Not enough distance, no sir. They're going to get beat by a couple of boat lengths there.
So 6th place going to Confusion, 7th place going to King of Knights.
I guess their patch is holding.
Yep, absolutely. Kudos to those guys who will help patch her up, get her ready. And now we have Miss Rowe, number 15. Is going to be in 8th place, followed by number 18, Crazy Partner, in 9th. And last year's champion, the defending champion of the Rolleville Regatta, number 72, It Ain't Right, coming across in 10th place, followed by the National Family Island Regatta Commodore, Dallas Knowles, and his Exuma sailing crew, sailing number 43, Termite, in 11th place. After that, we're going to see Golden Girl coming in 12th place, Bull Rich in 13th place. Those guys are going to be very, very angry. They were in 3rd place yesterday when the race was called.
Yep.
So from 3rd to 13th, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. Okay. A few more boats finishing. Making a clean shot right around the finish marker there. Heading upwind, drop the sails, get the boats on anchor, secure them for the night.
Yep, there's supposed to be a little sail-off challenge happening in front of the Exuma Beach Club restaurant. Sassy Sue has put out a challenge. I'm not sure which boats are gonna.
I see Sassy Sue under tow now, headed in that direction.
Yeah.
Right, passing right in front of us.
Golden
headed in that direction.
Yeah.
Right, passing right in front of us.
Golden Girl now going across. Rhea, Queen, and Rhea, Queen, and
Fugitive.
And Fugitive. You got it.
Fuffle around that
first
leeward marker there, where there was some confusion about which way to go.
Yes.
And then there was traffic and people tacking in front of people, and so a little shuffling there with the positions. But Shroud, got every reason to be proud, because once they got clear of that, and there was no looking back, and she stepped out and took a commanding lead and won this race handily.
No doubt about it. Congratulations, Jason Robertson and his team sailing Shroud for the first time here in Rolleville.
Boat built by Don Knowles over in Mangrove Bush, Long Island. So Don, your boat's got another win. That should make you smile.
Absolutely.
Where the beach party is going to be?
I believe that.
Just where the beach party is going to be?
I believe that may be the case.
Just to the north of the regatta site here.
It's got a ways to go. I'm just past that dock, I believe is where the party is. That dock is at the Exuma Point restaurant. I'm just seeing some of the construction happening in Rolleville. Rolleville is starting to build up, particularly on this peninsula end of Rolleville. View right now, beautiful stretch of beach.
And that's where the beach party is?
Further, further up. Further north of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's where Stefan's going to have his challenge.
That's where the challenge is going to be, and I think I understand there's a young suckling pig being roasted. And there's the beach party coming into view. There's a couple of boats anchored out. They've got a bar anchored in the water, I believe, for those who want to get wet while they drink.
Gorgeous
The
beach.
Floating to watch, and those who've come down to the beach, all the fans to support sailing. Excellent sailing. Nothing remarkable to talk about as far as incidents. Like clean sailing straight through. I think exciting enough, the fact that we did have a lead change.
Certainly did. Yep.
Which came either through a mistake or a little bit of confusion on what should have happened once they came around that windward marker, downwind marker, sorry, for the first time. But Shroud obviously took advantage of it and took a lead and never gave it up.
Yep. Again, congratulations to them. And folks, be sure to tune in tomorrow. There's going to be lots of racing action. If you're in the neighborhood.
6 races tomorrow.
6 races. Be sure to stop by. Lots of food and good drink here at the regatta site. Excellent viewing right from the beach. Nice cool breeze. Stop by the table and say hi. Get my autograph.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a priceless momentum to take from the Rolleville Regatta. Get Captain Flug's autograph. Okay, well, I think we can call it a day. Thank you again for those of you who watched. And remember, at 9 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be here to bring you 4 E-class races back to back to back to back, followed by 2 C-classes, which will wrap up the sailing here in Exuma, Rolleville, for the 81st Annual Family Island Regatta.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.
Everybody singing. Oh yeah, Massa, Montague, we're gonna do it to you. Avocado, plenty of Compton Joe. Exuma, the grandfather of them all. Long Island, keep it rocking, y'all. Baby, you got to lay low. That's the big y'all. Cat Island, land of the records, great y'all. Run Bahama, our second city. Turks and Caicos, we can't forget you. Naughty Lutra, Ryland, Sweetie. Oh yeah. Tell it y'all. You got to let them know. Again.